How are most boards functioning? Anything wrong with the current way of doing things?
Well, there are a lot of there's been a lot of changes since the financial crisis that put in puts more responsibility on the board. Most, in my view, can be worked around, and board members haven't assumed the responsibilities that they should have assumed even before the meltdown. I believe that there should be lines of demarcation, but they should definitely be a check and balance. And to be a check and balance, you have to know what's going on. And you have to have access to people working in the business beyond the CEO and the CFO. And you have to ask questions that penetrate where you aren't directing, but you need to really understand what the hell's going on in the business. And not be, if they're spending more time reacting to issues that the CEO can't work around, then they're acting in a crisis management mode all the time.
Interesting point. Need to get out of that boardroom and get into the business.
And not in a directional way, but go in and really understand what's going on in the business. The average age of a board of directors is 63 years old. And there's going to be a change of the guard, and the millennials are going to be coming in. And I just did a piece for boards and directors, and I'm breaking some myths relative to who are these millennials. And what I found is that millennials have more in common with the boomers than we assume. And all anybody has to do as a boomer is look at what motivated them when they were young. And it's no different than the millennials today.
Beautiful. They seem a little more fearless than...
There's some recent research that came out, and they are under more stress than the boomers. You know, we came in and it was the golden age.
Yeah, there's less money and opportunity.
There's less money, opportunity,
money.
More competition. And this piece came out and said that millennials are more depressed than the previous generation, and they are more prone to suicide. Going back to the 63-year-old, he's more likely a full-time director. And the way the world works, the way the business world works is very quick. And who would have predicted Uber? Uber on the street and Yellow Cab in Smithsonian. And board members need to understand all of the dynamics that go on in the world of business generally. And if you stay away from that for too long, there's a best before date. And boards that do not bring in talent and expertise and perspectives from a diversity point of view overall, whether it's gender or generational, they are missing out on a lot. I populated a drugstore chain. We did a management buyout, and we were private for a long time. And operating as a private company offers you a lot of leeway because the shareholder's not constantly looking for their dividend every quarter. Once you make the switch, and once we made the switch to become a public company, we went out to populate our board, and we determined in a strategic way that the board, like our employee population, have to reflect our customers. And drug retailing, 50% beauty. So we're health, beauty, convenience. And 85% of our customers were women. Yet our management team were a bunch of old men. Good, and they were good. They knew how to do things well. But they were making decisions for women, and they didn't have a clue. So we had a couple challenges. One is how do you get more men customers in? So to shift that ratio a bit, and how do you build even further on your core base, and
get more females on the board.
Get more female, and in management, and particularly in store management and in pharmacy. And again, it goes right back to emotional intelligence. Because in pharmacy, they are the one point of consistency in the health network. So if you have a general practitioner, he's likely to send you to a bunch of specialists. And the specialists all feed the pharmacist the prescriptions. And it's the pharmacist's relationship with the customer that helps them in terms of things like drug interaction or alternatives. And again, the importance of having women who who are more empathetic to someone who is not there because they want to have coffee with you and be entertained.
They're there to get well.
They're there to get well.